Hey everyone, welcome back to the Bruce Williams channel. Let me show you what I've been wearing today. This is arguably my nicest watch. It's my most elegant watch. It's my most beautiful watch. This is the Santos de Cartier in the large size, and it is completely different from the watch that I want to share with you here on the channel today. Different in terms of size, in terms of price, in terms of material, in terms of purpose. And let me just show you what we've got here. This is the Luminox Navy SEAL 3500 series dive watch. Technically, this is the 3508 with the gold accents. We have a gilt coated crown. We have gold accents for the Arabic markers on the dial. And I've got to say, I like Luminox. I go back to my early days here in the watch collecting hobby that we share. About 10 years ago, I bought the blackout chronograph. And that was a time where really I was learning about, hey, what is a 2824 and why is it different from a 2892? What does A2 mean? What's a Speedmaster and what's a Seamaster and who came first with which movement and this and that. It was a really exciting time where I was learning a lot and I was being exposed to a lot. And I bought the Luminox because I thought it was just dang cool. I liked how tough it is. I mean, this is a very tough, very capable watch. Essentially, it's a go anywhere, do anything type watch that if you're, I guess you could say, kind of a high adventure individual and you go camping and you go rock climbing, maybe you go base jumping, maybe you go, to the range on the weekends and you shoot, or let's see, you kayak, you could go skydiving, you could do almost any activity. You could go caving. And you just won't have to worry about your watch. You won't have to worry about scratching it. You won't really feel it on your wrist because it's made out of a carbon composite material, so it is very lightweight. And this is the draw with Luminox. You have these tritium tubes for the hour markers, for the bezel pip, and for the handset. Even the seconds hand carries a small tritium tube. So the advantage with tritium is it's completely legible in low light or in no light situations, far better than even the best Lume watches like from Seiko or from Tudor with the Pelagos. Lume really is bright. It's brighter than tritium, but the half-life, the decay, becomes pretty apparent as time goes on. And with tritium tubes, they emit a constant glow. So they're glowing right now. We just really can't see here in natural light. But, we go into a dark room where it's night out, whatever it is. Maybe you are caving and you're 50 meters down, into a mountain somewhere. You're going to be able to read the time perfectly. So there is a bicolor execution here with the tritium tube. So you know exactly where the 12 o'clock marker is, even if everything else around you is pitch black. Maybe you're diving at night, right? And it's completely dark. You're going to know exactly the time, and that's an advantage. Now, here's the thing with tritium. They will glow for about 20 years before they're, needing to be replaced, and that's pretty cool. I know watch enthusiasts, they're not into high adventure. They don't go out on a motorcycle or they don't do, Baja racing. They're not doing activities that are really, I guess you could say detrimental to a mechanical watch or an automatic watch. They're not into high adventure, but they just love seeing tritium tubes at night because they're crazy watch enthusiasts. They like to sleep in their watches. I'm guilty of that. So I do have a couple of friends that buy tritium tube watches just to wear at night. They're lightweight, they're comfortable, they're legible. There are some definite pros to a watch like this, and as I'm talking about this and as I've spent time with this watch, I'm remembering, my early days in watch collecting. I guess I'm feeling a little bit nostalgic looking at this Luminox. But let's be fair and balanced. Let's talk about the negative elements. This doesn't have the best bezel action. It's decent. It's snappy. There is a little bit of wiggle and backplay in the action, and that can be forgiven for the price because retail price here is only $435, and that's retail. You're going to be able to get a nice discount from an authorized dealer. These don't sell at retail price. Now, here's another kind of negative element. We don't have a sapphire crystal, surprisingly, on this go anywhere, do anything type tool watch. We have a hardened mineral crystal. And I know some of you don't care about having mineral, like you've never shattered a crystal, you've never chipped a crystal. But I will say, I have scratched mineral quite a few times, and it's never fun looking at your watch and seeing little, hairline scratches and wear marks. So I prefer sapphire. I've never chipped or shattered a sapphire crystal myself, so I'd prefer that on this watch. And let's see. The other thing that I was a little bit surprised, I couldn't find exactly which Swiss movement that Luminox was using. All I got was a Ronda quartz movement, a Swiss-made Ronda quartz movement. So I don't know the grade of the movement, and I'm not a quartz snob, and I do like the fact that the seconds hand hits each tick perfectly. That's something that's pretty important to me as a watch enthusiast, but as a watch nerd, I want to know exactly which movement I have. Did they get a $10 Ronda quartz movement? Did they get a more expensive one? I don't know. I don't even know how long the battery life is here. The only thing I saw in the instruction booklet was anywhere from 1.5 years to 5 years, which doesn't tell me exactly a whole lot of information. I do know that all Ronda quartz movements will come with an end-of-life indicator, so before you go out on that adventure, if you need to replace the battery and get the seals checked. We do have twin seals here in the screw-down crown with the 200 meters of water resistance. So considering the bezel action, considering the crystal material, considering the lack of information on the movement, and then also taking into account the price, considering the lightweight nature, considering the sharp details, the legibility, the 24-hour indexing, the tritium tubes, I think it's a pretty fun watch. It's a go anywhere, do anything type adventurous watch that's a worthy addition to that type of segment in the watch market. I know a lot of you like Casio, you like G-Shock. There are some really great tool watches out there. In fact, I just bought a really awesome tool watch. This is the GMW B5000 from G-Shock. This is a titanium square that's, carries the laser camo print. It's DLC treated, diamond-like coated. So it's almost impossible to scratch, but that watch is a $1,700, atomic time syncing solar powered watch. It's pretty awesome with everything you can program it to do. But arguably this is, I guess you could say, just as capable and sells for far less than what I spent on this one. And I do recognize G-Shock has some other offerings that are far more affordable and just as capable. But a lot of my draw with watches doesn't come down to logic. And I know a lot of you agree with me. It's more about the emotional connection. And I do know that Luminox carries a pretty broad appeal, more so than just with watch enthusiasts, with people that like going on adventures, that like camping, that like doing sporting activities. I remember just being drawn to this brand a decade ago when I was first learning about, hey, what is tritium tubes? How is it better than Lume? And let me close you with one thing here. I'm kind of going a little bit long. I've had a little bit of a hard time photographing the low light luminescence here with the tritium emission of the tubes. It's a little bit lower in overall brightness than Lume, like from a Seiko or from a Tudor Pelagos. And so my camera's had a hard time focusing and picking up the light in video mode. So what I've done here, I've taken photographs and I've altered them in Photoshop to where this is what it looks like as you look at the watch, just with the naked eye. So this is what it would look like in no light or in low light if you were to purchase a watch that carries tritium tubes. They're really satisfying. I like them. I do. So guys, let me know if you have any questions about the Luminox Navy SEAL 3500 series. I do like this 3508 with the gold accent. It's a little bit large. It's a little bit bulky. It's a little bit chunky, but it is pretty dang cool. It is very capable. And I want to thank Saltzman's Watches for lending it in here for a presentation. And I'm going to leave a link in the description of the video to where you can reach out to Richard. You can get pricing. You can look at their website, see what they have. And I will say I've been working with Saltzman's, I think, for about 2 years now. And they've been great, really good customer service and very competitive discounts. So all of that's in the description. Thank you again for watching today. Really appreciate it. Hope you have a great day and see you next time.